Just a sec. I'm on Twitch for a moment.
It looks good to me.
Okay, great.
Excellent.
If it looks good to you, it's probably good. Oh, it looks good to me too. All right, I'm leaving. I'm making you the host. Oh, wait, I got to make you the host first.
There's USBF Bridge on Twitch.
Yep.
Let's make sure that's muted so I don't get
Thank
feedback.
you.
Hello, good morning to anyone who's here, which suddenly went up to 21 people, so from 0 to 21. Good morning. I'm Michael Schuster here with Greg Lawler. We are going to be performing VUGRAPH for the third out of 6 segments in the semifinals of the USA2 senior match to determine who will be representing the United States. You can check the, right now we have Adam Moldovsky and Doug Du facing the revived partnership of David Berkowitz and Larry Cohen in what I'll call the open room, the room on the left. And in the other room, we have the Lewises, Paul and Linda, facing Mike Becker and Bobby Levin.
Saying the same auction in both tables.
So in both tables, also one diamond was alerted, and it looks like one table it was alerted because it shows extra long diamonds, and the other table it was alerted because it could be extra short diamonds. Meanwhile, it's just sort of normal range diamonds. For anyone who's watching on Twitch, I am trying to keep an eye on the Twitch stream. And so if you have questions or want to interact with us, it may take me a moment to actually see it, but I will make an attempt to answer questions that people have about what is happening here. So Greg, what is the, where do you think they're going to wind up? I mean, East has pretty good shape for having partner made well, both tables, West is redoubled, not, but at one table, the redouble, I believe, showed hearts, and at the other table, the redouble showed values. So even though the auctions look the same, they're actually quite different.
Oh, I didn't know that redouble showed hearts.
Yeah, I need to mouse over these things so people can see.
Which is why you didn't have to show hearts later.
And why East with 5422 pattern, having shown not much in the way of pattern with one diamond, was very happy to bid onto 3 hearts over 2 spades. And at the other table where West just sort of showed values, East didn't really, they never found the heart fit. And so they were, they've sold to 2 spades. Now, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I haven't figured out how many tricks each side is going to take yet. So it looks like
interesting spade return in the closed room gave up instead of giving up a trick in the spade suit.
so
Guessable. I mean, but either way, situation.
So it looks like they lose 2 spades, 2 diamonds, and a heart. The clubs are
Yeah,
solid.
it looks like they're coming in.
And in 3 hearts, they're losing a heart, no spades, no diamonds, and a club. They're making game. So East-West with a spectacular result. North-South with a spectacular result in the closed room, buying it for 2 spades and making it when East-West can make game. Berkowitz and Cohen may feel bad about having missed game here on the East-West cards, but they will be happy to learn that they are winning a swing for their efforts.
Well, game is a little optimistic. So playing 3 hearts seems very reasonable on these cards. But passing out to 2 spades is not optimal.
So someone asks, what is this redouble showing hearts business? Well, I do this myself in most of my partnerships. We give up on trying to nail the opponents when they double or one of a minor and just use transfers over it. And you can see the advantages on this deal by finding your fits quicker. It is unfortunate you sometimes don't let a penalty go to a way that could be juicy, but
even for a penalty, what do you bid if you just have a number of points, but no major to bid or anything when you're playing that the redouble shows hearts or no.
Well, so it's basically becomes goes to the transfer Walsh system over one diamond, where redouble takes the place of the one diamond bid showing hearts, one heart shows spades, and one spade shows a hand that.
Oh, okay, it's part of the entire system there. Okay, that makes sense then.
So one spade is usually the hand that says, I wish I had a penalty redouble available, but I don't. And the other things that show your suits.
Okay.
So this is North. This is Becker and Levin are playing for team, and Cohen and Berkowitz are playing for team Wolfson, who's ahead by 22, a comfortable but not great margin. They'd like to improve it, and it looks like they did, or they improved it to 22 on the first deal, right? They won 7 M's.
Yeah.
Okay, I am going to open up this in a second window, so you don't see me scrolling when I want to check things, because that's I know that's distracting as someone who's watching this. But I promise I will resist the temptation to click on the DDS button and try to rely on my own faulty analysis of how many tricks can be taken.
So North in the closed room is now in a position where he has no bid he wants to make.
Yeah, that's kind of like he's this. They could wind up in a 3-3 heart fit here. I guess South's going to correct hearts.
No, I mean, South will take this out to 4 spades. I think trying to give clubs is an option.
Right. So for people who are listening may not be familiar with this, in a competitive auction, there's more value in finding the right strain than it is stretching to a slam. So a lot of players use a Q-bid in a competitive auction to say, I'm looking for the best strain rather than saying I have a control in the suit and I'm looking for slam. So, and I think was the general nature of Levin's 4 diamond bid here. So this 2-step showed spades and clubs, and North.
And actually, 4 spades is a pretty good contract because diamonds cannot be continued. Without setting up a trick in the suit.
So sort of a similar auction is happening in the open room. East jumped directly to 4 diamonds, and South instead doubled to say, you pick something. And now with North, with the balanced hand, said, well, I picked defense. We'll see how that'll work out, because it looks like North-South can take quite a few tricks against diamonds. The East-West hands are essentially a mirror, and North-South start with 3 spades and 2 hearts, a club, and a diamond. That's 7. That's already more than the game. They get them all.
The playing 4 spades is interesting in the closed room. The declarer can just draw trump and give up the club, and if they attack diamonds, the declarer will just pitch a heart and get a diamond trick out of this.
Right,
and
and that
we'll
works even if spades are 4 too. Right, because declares lost 1 trick, he can still afford to lose a club and a diamond. He may need the heart finesse in the case that spades don't break. So wait, so East wins the king of clubs and plays back a diamond, so declare.
Which is a heart.
Right. Declare has to pitch a heart and then pitch the other heart on the other diamond. That's
yeah.
And what do you call that play, Greg?
Making game. Loser on loser, I guess.
Yes, that's the name of the play. So if someone says you play a loser on loser, I mean, it's sort of a loser on loser because the heart could effectively be a winner, but here you're keeping control, and since you get to throw 2 hearts, one of them is a loser. So you exchange a heart loser for a diamond loser, and meanwhile you maintain control of the hand. So and here Declare's done exactly as Greg predicted, pitched their heart on the diamond and claimed their contract.
Looks like Declare can take 7 tricks in the open room. Maybe only 6 tricks. It's
So North-South did really well to get to their 4-3 spade fit, because I don't think you can make, you can't make 5 clubs losing, you have to lose a club, a heart, and a diamond. Did really well to get to the only making game, which is a real triumph. And they're going to actually lose a small number of imps because East-West over preempted with their law violations. You know, Berkowitz and Cohen are well known for the law of total tricks, and 4 diamonds seems like a violation to me. If 2 diamonds was okay, then 4 diamonds was a violation, I think.
I have to admit, I'd be tempted to bid 4 diamonds there at that vulnerability.
I kid a little bit just because they're so backing the law of total tricks, and I never use it. I just look at my hand as a bridge hand and try to figure out, you know, the mesh and the fit and how high strategically I should bid with the vulnerability. I don't really care for 2 diamonds with the West hand on a defensively oriented balanced hand with a mediocre 5-card suit.
It was made at both tables. It was 3rd seat favorable.
It was 3rd seed and vulnerable. Well, in one room. Actually, it didn't work out in either case, right? Because North-South might just get to 3-no trump if left to their own devices, which will just go down as a matter of routine on a diamond lead. All right, so board 3 has hit the table in the closed room, and no one has taken any actions. There haven't been any time penalties issued in this match. There were in the other match yesterday. The players, each pair has their own clock with a certain amount of time allotted to the pair, and even if the table's on time, the team can get a time penalty if the pair takes too much time. And that has had a very positive impact for those who are watching bridge, because it's sped the pace of play up.
Very much in favor of it. In a system like this, where there's a way to really monitor the time accurately because they're playing on tablets or computers of some kind.
In general, I dislike the play on the tablets versus the play with cards. I'm a very tactile person. I like the feel of the cards in my hand, but this is a huge advantage for tablets in that you can very accurately assess the amount of time that each pair has taken, and we can really do something about slow play this way. So diamond, a spade, 2 spades all seems really normal. East wanted to get in over a diamond but didn't have a convenient way to do so, so just had to pass. Basically, they bid their suit.
But Mike,
I agree with Levin's judgment to pass 2 spades there. It'd be very marginal to make a game try on a balanced 10 count with 3 small and partner suit. And in fact, your 2 spades itself is not quite cold. It could easily go down on a club rough if their clubs were 5-2.
I agree, but would you have considered a pre-balance with East hand?
Doubling 2 spades with East hand, I would definitely have considered it and might have done it.
Yeah, that's.
It's very attractive because, I mean, even you may even have a diamond fit and you could find it. Let's say partner can advance that kind of double with usually with 2-no trump to show 2 different strains he's willing to play in. So you could even recover a diamond fit when the player on your right is 4-4, 3-2 in that order with 3 diamonds. You could have a 4 diamond fit that's breaking friendly.
So it's a 1-no opener in the other room, which I'm assuming is 14 to 16. I don't think anyone would upgrade that to 15.
It is 12 to 14.
12 to
close
14. Well, something with 14 in it. Of course, yeah, South Pass, so it had to be 12 to 14. Now to think about that. Yes.
Right. Well, yeah. The South End is actually kind of an annoying hand opposite some of the other no trump ranges. Like you really wouldn't want to have that hand facing a 13 to 15 or 14 to 16 no trump range because it's pretty mediocre balanced 10 count, and you might just want it. One no trump could be the limit on some days. So inviting is a bit risky. Opposite 15 to 17, you can just take your chances and force to game. So in one no trump, declare the suits are relatively friendly, but he has 3 hearts, 2 clubs, and a diamond still to lose. Meanwhile, he has 4 spades and a heart is 5, and a diamond is 6. So it looks like the defense can set up their 7th trick before declare can get theirs.
Sort of looks that way to me.
And is declare going to have a bad time on the hearts? I think they're okay. They can pitch clubs from one hand and diamonds from the other.
Diamonds from one hand, so that won't.
Some of these hands, sometimes they look like they're going to go down 1, but then when the opponents start running their suit against you in 1-0 trump, you find that you actually don't have good things to discard, and the defense can read it out to have squeezed you.
Yeah.
So board 2 is 5 amps back back to the trailing Lewis team, and the match is once again within two game swings.
East will have an easy diamond switch after winning the club here to set up the 7th trick in the open room.
East will come down to 2 winners for the 2-card ending, the ace of clubs and the 10 of diamonds, which will beat dummies queen 9 suited. In the closed room, East overcalled a no trump and West is transferred to spades.
And South has avoided bidding spades, which is good. Whether he was tempted, I have no idea. The spots are pretty bad, but certainly happy when he saw the 2-1.
And North had an awkward hand to open with 15 high card points in that pattern. Some people actually will open a no trump with a singleton spade there just to avoid the rebid problem of a club pass, a spade pass, where nothing really is comfortable rebidding your bad 5-card club suit or reversing with really sub minimum values and a misfit, or 1 no trump when you're out of range strong. None of those things are good. Although opening 1 no trump with a singleton 10 is not necessarily a panacea. See, North has this. Well, North play a weak, South play a weak no trump in this room, so it's super easy for them. He can open a club and rebid a no trump over a spade and not have underbid his hand.
Good point.
Now, that may propel them into the 5-1 spade fit, but I think East is going to bid over a no trump over a club. I don't know. East has made a slightly conservative pass. That's maybe against Dube and Moldavsky, that's a good idea because North-South are solid citizens with their one of minor opening bids in this partnership, as opposed to Becker, who is more prone to open a little bit lighter. Becker is still kind of a solid citizen too, with it doesn't open super light. Certainly not overcalling 1-0 trump with a pretty good 15 count. You could miss game for your side. All right, so Dube has indeed rebid 1-0 trump. Their partnership must be okay to do that with a skeleton spade. And South with bad spades and a bad hand has to choose between bringing this back to 2 spades or leaving it 1-0 trump. goes back to spades, then they will they will be playing 2 spades in both rooms. It's usually not a good plan. You don't want your side to contract for 16 tricks in a single strain. All right, so East is doubled 1-0 trump. The delay double must be penalty. Oh, and South has run to 2 spades. And West has a very good hand for this auction. I imagine West did not double it. Maybe, I bet East's double of 1-0 trump was actually take out of spades. Not
Yeah, it could have been a hand that had clubs. And that was why I was couldn't have been over 1 club. Or just some clubs with hearts and diamonds, but no spades.
So no one was doubled, but the Lewis team is contracted for 16 tricks with spades as trump on a single deal.
It looks like down 1 in the closed room from what I'm seeing.
It does look that way. North
I
South.
think just the 1 more spade
Already
trick.
taken 5 tricks and are entitled to a spade trick and nothing more. Because of the West's good spots or South's bad spots, depending on your perspective. And if North-South can take 7 tricks, okay, North-South took 6 tricks on defense. There's East-West in the 1 room. So we could expect them to take 6 tricks on offense too, perhaps. And maybe Declare's advantage will let them take an extra trick in each room. But it could be down 2 and down 1 for 300, which winds up being an 8M swing.
Just the obvious fact that Declare in the open room does not know that Queen of Spades is coming down on the king at this point.
It looks like in the closed room, Declare actually lost a trick from the position they were only down 1.
By pitching a diamond pitch on the club.
I think he could have taken the ace of spades, crossed the ace of hearts, and knocked out a trump in position he was in. And I didn't see what actually happened, but he lost 1 additional trick. I'm going to replay it in my other window so I can see what actually happened in the end position.
Yeah, okay, it's very hard to look at 2 hands, so I just.
It is. So we looked at this after the defense had taken the.
Did North retain a diamond on it before playing the club? That's a big difference.
So North had the 9 of diamonds. The 10 of diamonds was high. So Declare had some. Now South was going to pitch his. So what happened was he pitched a heart from dummy when he was supposed to he needed to either pitch a diamond or rough with the ace.
Okay.
Maybe it wasn't as easy a position as it seemed. If he pitched a diamond, then he roughs it in his hand, crosses the ace of spades, crosses back in whatever suit. So let's say if South had pitched a diamond, then he crosses in hearts, knocks out the spade, and South left to follow the 3rd round of hearts. Oh, they'll then hit. Yeah. It's complicated. Maybe roughing with the ace is the easiest play. You could just rough with the ace and force out the trumps with the West ones. Right. While I was watching that, I've lost the play in 2 spades in the other room.
So, yeah, North-South have a slam where probably in imps you want to play 6 diamonds, but 6 hearts is the match point thing, which would also be okay today.
Right. If hearts break, you just have 12 tricks in hearts or diamonds, but you have 12 tricks in diamonds regardless, unless they actually somehow break 5-0 hearts and they get a rough, just with 6 diamonds, 3 clubs, and 3 hearts. So it's a much better attempt to be willing to risk the 2 imp difference for the minor suit slam versus the major suit slam to take a giant win when hearts don't break. Meanwhile, they still have to get to slam, and East-West are throwing up a smoke screen here. After a diamond pass a heart, East doubled, and now West with all this shape and favorable vulnerability, West might have bid all the way to 4 spades. Would have not been.
North bids 4 hearts. I mean, 4 hearts is a little bit of an overbid, but it tells partner about the 5th heart, which will makes. I mean, South has a lot of. Oops, South is not bidding.
So yeah, so South's redouble didn't show any extra values. It just showed 3 hearts.
Right, so he has a lot of values he hadn't shown at this point.
I mean, he would bid the same way if the ace of hearts was the 2 of hearts and the king of clubs was the 3 of clubs. He has a lot extra.
That's.
Oh, West is like, I'm going to save against this one. This could get. North has doubled it. I mean, if South bids 5 diamonds here or 5 clubs here, even that might do it. But South has already passed 4 hearts, decided to go with partner's double. 2 passed hands, bid to 4 spades. He figured, I'll just defend. So this opens the door for a swing back to Lewis, who just lost a rather substantial swing for playing 2 spades down 2 in both rooms. So they played 2 spades in both rooms and took a total of 12 tricks. They didn't even take half of them. Okay, Lovebridge would like us to know that something else is starting. Let's get rid of that.
I'd really like to know what went through Bobby Levin's mind. For me, I just say partner has shown the 5th heart and enough to make the free bid of 4 hearts, and he's not taking another call.
Yeah, you have like a 4-loser hand, and you have shortness in the suits the opponent just bid to the 4 level, which to the 3 level, which has got to be good for your slam chances. I mean, I think South is practically a slam drive. It could just bid 6 diamonds to offer partner a choice. But you might check for keys on the way. If you
I could do Blackwood. I mean, I'm just like.
There's in traditional key card Blackwood, if you check for key cards and then bid a new suit at the 6th level, it usually asks partner for 3rd round control in that suit. But there are a number of partnerships who like to offer additional strains at the 6th level instead. This would be a good hand for that, where you could bid 4 no trump and then later 6 diamonds when partner shows enough key cards to say, well, I know we have a heart fit, but how would we play 6 diamonds instead? Maybe South shouldn't make a support double. Well, I'm not sure what they should do over the double. You'd like to make a value showing redouble.
Okay, so Larry Cohen has actually made a very light 2-spade call in the open room, which is, and now it's a trickier situation because South doesn't know about the 5th heart in North's hand.
I like the 2-spade overcall opposite a passed hand at favorable vulnerability. You have all the good spots in the spade suit and you have good shape. I think it's closer to 3 spades than it is to pass. But not everyone bids the same way. If they did, bridge would be much less interesting. And Wildowski is just taking a practical shot at 6 diamonds with his fantastic hand and a partner who made a negative double of 2 spades, figuring how bad can it be as long as partner has an ace. And sometimes when they jam you, one of the advantages of jamming you just can't know. All right, so West is just taking a dive in an auction when the opponents were guessing. I think this is super unclear. For example, if partner had the ace of clubs instead of the ace of spades, the auction would go the same way if you swap the black aces, and then you just get a club ruff to beat 6 diamonds. going plus is much better than just settling for whatever you're going minus in 4 spades, which, what are they going minus in 4 spades? It's like just down 1, maybe down 2 on trump leads. With 3 diamonds to rough, and you can't establish the clubs most likely. Wildavsky will shift to a trump on winning the diamond, I think. Well, the defense is tapping dummy and diamonds in 4 spades doubled. So that's just going to go down 1. Declare can just basically rough all his diamonds and dummy and rough the clubs in his hand. Does not have the entries to establish the long club. He can rough a club, rough a diamond, rough a club, rough a diamond, rough a club. The club's good now, but he can't get there to cash it.
Well, the ones that are saying the play, there was often sort of two-way plays there where you threaten to set up a long suit. So if the defense attacks trumps and takes a trump away from you, you can set up the long club in compensate to compensate for it.
I think Adam is also considering whether he's supposed to be ducking the diamond here. I can't think of a case for ducking the diamond. I can certainly make, I mean, if I duck the diamond, then I'm just asking partner to make the mistake on defense. Whereas if I overtake it, I can make the mistake myself.
I think they may just be thinking the whole hand out, just using first trick, allowed to think of the whole defense.
Yeah, and maybe against a doubled high-level contract, he's taking a little extra time to plan out exactly how he's going to handle it when Declare plays a club-off dummy. Which is,
well, I can't think of any reason why you want North to have the lead at the moment.
Yeah, so he has overtaken it. So South has 2 decisions to make that he can predict. At some point, Declare might play a hard-off dummy, and at some point, Declare may play a club-off dummy. And in each case, he needs to know whether he's going to play high or low on that trick. And looking at the hands, we can see that he's best off playing high on a club so that Declare doesn't force out the ace of clubs, leaving the king, queen of clubs in the shorthand where they can be roughed out. And it doesn't matter what he does on the heart. But Declare could have, say, a singleton king of hearts. Wouldn't be a very attractive holding with which to sacrifice in 6 spades, but if they had it, then ducking the ace of hearts could work out very badly. 4 spades has drifted 1 off in the other room. A spectacularly good result for East-West to go minus 100 against the opponent's slam. And they will win imps for that, regardless of whether or not the defense manages to blow a trick or not here. So in this position, Wildavsky's in. He needs to lead a trump to cut down on cut off a diamond rough. And he's done it. The South has another very good hand, not quite as strong this time in the closed room.
But you see with this club play, South cannot, if South plays queen of clubs on the jack, South doesn't have a spade to play. And if South goes low, the long club comes into play.
So what South is going to need to do is cross to his partner in hearts. Oh, no, he's played low to get his partner on lead for a second trump. But now Declare wins a trump and dummy, roughs a club, crosses back to a dummy, roughs a club, the clubs are good.
Yeah.
So declare.
That's a way for you have the long suit, or you get the long suit, or you get your roughs, one or the other. That sort of situation. Okay, so that's a nice pickup for the Lewis team.
So it's a high scoring set so far with at least 5 imps swung on every single deal, but the imps have been roughly even, with Wolfson having picked up 7 so far. How much have they scored total on this set? 14 to 21 over 5 boards. So a heart pass, a spade pass, 2 spades seems like kind of a normal-ish auction. I like raising 1 spade to 2 with that hand type that South has, but not everyone will raise with 3 there. Some roads lead to no trump, which is probably fine north-south. Spades break badly, and you have bad breaks in the side suits. So, myself, hold on a second. I think someone was just trying to inform me that my car needed more insurance. So 2 spades is kind of an interesting contract, right? Normally it would be pretty safe, but this is a very foul lie of the cards.
Yeah.
So West can get back in with a club rough and issue another. Well, does the diamond help? I mean, if East rough, I guess East has a natural trump trick still.
Right. Sort of either way.
So this will be the King of Clubs holding is actually the 5th defensive trick. West may choose to rough it anyway, so he can play another diamond. He may not know whether he should. That's what Linda's thinking about, whether or not to rough partner's winner in order to play a diamond.
So they're in the same room, with the same contract in the open room.
In the same auction. When you play a weak no trump, you have to decide whether a heart pass, a spade pass, a no trump shows extra values or not. I wouldn't have been able to tell whether or not it did if Wildowski did it, because it's a pretty solid 14 count there.
When I played weak no trump, I've never played that. That was a strong bid. That was a strong no trump bid after hard opening.
I agree with you. That's the way I like to do it also, is to not have that show extra values. Just defensively, when partner leads a club in this situation with Jack third and dummy, and declare plays low, you can't really know who has the king. But if it was 3 small and dummy and partner shifted to a low club and declare played small, you could be pretty sure partner has the king, especially if declare played smaller than the card your partner led. There's something to be said for when the Jack is in dummy, for the defense to use coded 10s and 9s, so which would mean that you would play the 9 through the closed hand to show the 10 and a higher, or nothing higher than the 9, which can spare partner a guess about when to in third position, sitting over before dummy. I guess it's more when dummy has the king, I think. Right, there's the king or the queen. There's situations where partner needs to know whether to take the ace, right? Because you could have the ace, king, jack. If let's say dummy has queen third, your side could have the ace, the king, the jack, the 10, and the 9. You could just take all the tricks, or going up with the ace in third hand could set up the king and an extra trick for declare. So there's a case that some defenders will play strange spot shifts through the closed hand. Only recommended for serious partnerships. And sorry about that side track there. All right, so they took their 7 tricks, and it looks like they're going to get 7 tricks in this room too. Expect our first push of the match is going to come here on board, or first push of the day on the 6th board. 4-3 fit, breaking 5-1. So we'll have different auctions here because North-South play a weak no trump in the open room. We'll open the South hand a club, and we'll see whether or not they respond to it, because it could, if they don't, it goes a club pass, and East can just win the whole day by passing out one club. They won't. They'll bid one spade if it goes a club pass. But they might respond to a club, especially if they use transfers. I would never pass one club with the North hand playing weak no trumps. Play your 3-1 club fit when partner has 15 high card points.
I mean, East and West have enough that they would be sniffing for game. And on a nice day, they would make game. With spades stacked, I suppose. Doesn't look good here today. And clubs not breaking.
So yeah, West is like rolling his eyes. Partner once again not there with the reopening double. But yeah, I mean, if anyone's going to make 3-0, it's East-West, where they're off a club, a diamond, and a spade off the top, but they don't have enough tricks.
Not with the, let's say if North-South hands had been nicer, they would.
Well, the club 10 is singleton. But the club opening bid, if
But club 9 exists. Yeah, there's not a lot of entries.
Yeah, you just getting back to the East hand is a serious problem.
Yes.
Now, if they're kind enough to lead the Queen of Hearts, then you have an entry right away at trick 1. You lead a club up, it holds. You cross back in hearts and lead another club up to the spot. Now you don't have any entries to the hand with a long club is now out of entries.
Right.
There's a class of hands where basically you have to set up both your hand and the dummy, and then throw the defenders in and let them choose which hand to give the rest of the tricks to.
So was the double in the closed room a one-suitor hand?
So the double showed a 4-card major and a longer minor in honor of our occasional commentator, Kit Woolsey, who that double is named for.
Yeah, okay.
And North wisely, rather than risk it going 1-0 trump double, pass, chose to show his hearts. And North-South are playing their 5-2 heart fit. Meanwhile, East-West West is preferenced spades over 2 diamonds. He probably suspects that clubs is their real fit. His partner didn't reopen with a takeout double over 1 club. And with spades and diamonds and a few hearts, probably would have been short enough in clubs to do so. So this auction may implies a couple of clubs in partner's hand, depending on what the style is with 5 spades, 3 hearts, 4 diamonds, and a club, whether or not they would tend to double or bid 1 spade. So I guess we should figure out how many tricks people are taking. Neither contract looks pretty. Hearts has more. The 2 spades has a lot of ammunition on the side, just a bunch of trump losers and a couple of aces.
But West has been able to get rid of her queen of diamonds.
And the North hand can score a club ruff. There's still time for that. Queen of Hearts lead was not successful, but there's no fast entry to the dummy to take a pitch. So I think South's going to lead a diamond here. As South can defeat the contract by popping up with the ace of diamonds and giving partner a club ruff. South can actually do other things too. He could pay a second heart before playing a club ruff. Declare could pitch 2 hearts from dummy on the king jack of diamonds, so wouldn't really help him, but he could still give partner a club ruff when they win their first round of spades. more likely declare would try to rough a diamond and dummy and play a trump himself. In two hearts north-south. North-south just don't have much ammunition, and the hearts are not great, so it looks like they're not going to make that. They've already lost 2 tricks. And if and West can just start running the clubs and just lose the 10 of hearts. So West can actually claim all but 1 defensive trick right now, and that is down 2. So plus 200 for the Lewis team, who's probably very happy to be defending this hand, to be once again defending in both rooms. Oh, I guess they played it in both rooms the last time on board 4. So 2 hearts did indeed go down 2. And I think 2 spades probably eventually go down 1, because he doesn't even need to play the heart immediately. He can actually, I mean, he doesn't have to give partner his club rough immediately. He still has time to do it.
Yeah.
You can see 10 clubs between his hand and dummy. I think he probably doesn't think his partner is the one that was likely to have a singleton club, because they passed 1 club, and passing 1 club vulnerable with a singleton when you play weak no trumps is not what I would recommend. But I think Declare plays a trump, South wins and shrugs his shoulders and says, I guess I've got to play ace in a club.
Well, I sympathize with North's pass, as North didn't want to hear spades from partner. And at least 1 club is at the 1 level.
If you play, I usually don't after a club of heart or spade, but if you play 2-way check back, but there were 2 clubs, puppets, 2 diamonds, then you actually could get out in the 4th suit in 2 diamonds after a club of heart or spade. But I don't play that convention, so it wouldn't help me. All right, so yeah, Wildowski did just go, all right, I guess I'm playing ace in a club, seeing if partner has a singleton. North says, what took you so long? You didn't play back a heart here. I'm kind of surprised North didn't play back a heart. He was partner went through all that trouble to rid themselves of their hearts, and he didn't play 1 back. If South spades were somewhat worse, the heart back could have promoted the setting trick. And that definitely seems like the defense that South was going for. All right, so down 1 in this room, down 2 in the others, 8 imps more to Lewis, putting that match back to about where it started the day. I think that makes Lewis having picked up, oh, it's 7 imps back. It's exactly tied, a 9, 5, and 7 to each teaming. And if you're not aware, we've agreed at the beginning of the set that imp swings can only come in odd numbers this set. So is there some excitement happening in the closed room?
I think North will probably finally say, I don't think this can make. Yes, okay.
North has a pretty good hand for all this bidding. 1 spade double, redouble, like a penalty redouble by East, and you're only a North hand, which with you have half the deck in your own hand. You have 20 high card points. Opponents have opened the bidding and redoubled. And partner raised your 3 diamonds to 4 diamonds. And they bid 4 spades. Like, well, I don't know. I just want to cash my 20 high card points in for down whatever. You can actually get 2 clubs and a club rough is 3, and a diamond is 4, and a heart is 5. And they can play another club, but that doesn't help you.
Yeah, but
by trumps.
It's not obvious that they'll get the club rough, but
So the West hand is a chunky 6-4-10 count with good spots. So I'm on board with the 1 spade opening bid. There was a time when people might have opened that too when they played their week 2 bid super sound. But that's very few pairs play it that way anymore. 1 spade is it's a good hand for 1 spade. And East's redouble is kind of normal too. They can beat hearts, and I could see some people bidding 1-0 trump there though.
I'm not sure I see the 4-spade call.
Yeah, I don't.
What I mean.
You already bid 1 spade and 2 spades, and I mean, I suppose you have a 6-4 hand and partner redoubled and then raise spades. If partner's queen jack of hearts was the ace of clubs, would that have been good enough? Maybe. Might have been off just.
But very often that 3-spade call is going to be 2-card support in this auction.
Yeah. So what to do with a 3-card limit raise when it goes 1 of major double is actually kind of a problem. So some players bundle that into the redouble.
Yeah.
But if you do that, and you could have a 3-card limit raise, when partner rebids the suit freely, you have to jump to 4. This raise to 3 spades in competition can't be a 3-card limit raise, or it shouldn't be. Otherwise, your partner never knows when to bid 4.
Well, they've gotten the club rough in the closed room. Stopped with a reasonable 3 spades.
Yeah,
Stopped it up at 4 diamonds. Well, maybe give Bobby Levin some points for that 4 diamond call. Right.
Yeah, well, he had a whole lot of nothing, but at least he had a fit. And they have not found the club rough in the other room. So I think that means that Declarer is going to make 3 spades. Maybe he just has too much work to do and he gets tapped out anyways.
No, there's a timing issue there.
So he actually, he has hope for North making an error. If he draws all the trump and leaves a low heart from his king and 1, if North ducks the ace, then he can switch over to clubs. But North has the 9 of clubs too. If he leads the king of hearts, I think North has to win it and tap him. If North ducks that, then Declare is in his hand to play on clubs. And lead a club towards the 10. Towards the 10-7. If North ducks, he's got to put in the 7. That's a big play.
You're saying this after drawing trump?
So if Declare, let's say here, draws trumps and leads the king of hearts, which feels like kind of a normal line.
Well, then North could force Declare.
Right. If North ducks the king of hearts, which I could imagine happening, though, then Declare could be in a position. And it's sort of like a careless error to duck the heart when you can, but and if Declare has 3 hearts, it doesn't matter. They'll just continue hearts anyways. And if they have 2, then your partner has a stopper. So you should win it, but I could see some players ducking it.
So this is an interesting play. A low heart to the queen jack was an interesting play by Larry Cohen. Followed by a club to the queen.
And sometimes when you play clubs yourself, it makes it harder for them to find the rough, but not here. I think after a heart to the queen held a double dummy, he could have then drawn the trumps and let a club to the spot and dummy, but I can't imagine anyone actually doing that.
Okay, so now to the closed room where we've had, assuming it's what I think it is, it's just a maximal accept of a transfer.
And South had mild slam interest opposite the super accept, and that's sort of borne out in the fact that slam is worse than a finesse, I guess, slightly worse. You can pitch, amazingly enough, you can pitch 3 things from the south hand on hearts and diamonds. So you don't have to get the clubs right, but you still need a spade finesse to work. You're off 2 key cards to boot.
Yeah.
You never get to slam off 2 keys in these auctions. You always find out and stop. So you better to play 4 spades than 5 spades. All right, so was that an even number of imps swinging? Damn it. They broke our agreement. It was 6 imps to Wolfson. Back ahead on the set. Right, so this board should be pretty fast. King of spades is just on side. Declare is going to unblock all their red stuff, cross to a trump, and lose a club in the end. Actually, he can overtake the jack of diamonds too.
So the diamond in the open room is from a weak no trump system. So North opens a diamond with a strong no trump.
We've seen Berkowitz and Cohen be extremely aggressive with getting to the auction at favorable vulnerability. They are not extremely aggressive at getting into the auction at unfavorable vulnerability. So we can see that East will just pass with his mediocre 6-card heart suit and bad hand over 1 diamond. And whether North bids 2 spades or 3 spades is a matter of partnership style. I would expect 2 spades to be in range for a weak no trump pair here.
Well, the question is whether North wants to upgrade a bit.
Oh, right. It's a 17 count. Yeah, he'll bid 3 spades.
Yes.
He'll just treat it like an 18-19. And South now actually likes his hand quite a bit because the king of diamonds is in partner's suit, which could easily be a 5-card diamond suit. Slam is not out of the question from South's perspective, and I think South will make some sort of move, whether that's some sort of slam try with 3 no trump being a type of artificial slam try, or whether that try is 4 diamonds, which would highlight the club weakness. And North will cooperate again with 4 hearts, and then I don't know that South is worth another try, having made 1, but North, who has both a club control and a heart control, I think will bid 4 hearts.
But North is probably it's more or less minimum for the 3 spade call. So cooperating with the 4 hearts seems natural. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the only question is that if partner doesn't even have the queen of clubs, partner's already grabbed the spades, so you may get a club lead coming through your king and 1, even when the hands are ostensibly in the slam zone. But there's no rule that says partner can't have the queen of clubs and an even stronger hand than this. And if you sign off, then partner's just going to assume you have 2 club losers and never bid again. So Moldavsky has bid Blackwood. And we'll find out they're missing 2 and stop. And this is a little scary to be in 5 spades from the south, where a club lead could just beat you. If the cards are foul, they could just lose 2 clubs and a trump finesse to go down 1. But on this day, you can't get the clubs wrong, and you're not going to get the spades wrong. So you're still going to take 12 tricks.
By the way, if you look at the north-south cards, you decide you want to play slam, you would want North to play it. And it could be no trouble.
That's true. If the spades come home, you have 5 spades and 3 hearts is 8, and 4 diamonds is 11. Oh no, 5 plus 4 plus 3 is 12. I need to get my math degree back to someone. I never earned one.
So in the closer to north-south, I've gotten to a touch and go, no trump. Things sort of a misfitish hand.
Yeah, spade and no trump, 3 clubs with 4, 5, 7, 10, 8, 19.
It's very reasonable to get there.
So the hands don't fit great, but the enemy cards are also friendly-ish. The king of spades is short onside. The queen of clubs is short but offside.
but only ish. I'm not sure they're from, but king of spades does drop. So I guess it can make with, well, like I tell, it definitely can make if you're like if you drop the queen of clubs.
Right. Clara's one trick in is going to build a heart trick for a second and has the king of diamonds for a third. And through the luck of the draw, has 3 spades for 6 and 2 clubs for 8. Might not know you have the third spade until very late in the day, though. So there's some cases where you may take a spade finesse and try to end play someone to force them to give you another spade finesse in the end of the hand. You have to think the declarer is going to lose a club finesse at some point in this hand. We'll see if North could also rebid 2-no trump instead of 2. Well, South has passed 1 spade in the other. Oh no, all right, I missaw that. Okay, South had 1-no trump. So South could bid 2-no trump instead of 3 clubs. And that generally shows like 17 to 18 for most pairs. 19 is the 5-card major, usually open to 2-no trump, and which is why that range is usually 17 to 18. I think we're seeing the same auction now. So it's better off not bidding 3 hearts on the way to 3-no trump for disguising his hand, at least on this deal. If partner had a 3rd heart, then he'd be sad he didn't do it. There's established their heart in the closed room. He's taking the spade finesse, and again, he left the ace of spades alone. Well, the defense.
Actually, West was end played there than this in the closed room, and is playing the king of spades.
Fascinating. So if the player had actually cashed the ace of spades, West would have really been end played.
Right.
So here, declarer basically had to show them that the spade was dropping. Declarer doesn't know what to pitch from their own hand either. They need 1 more trick, so they don't need both the hearts. And I would think they're going to play the jack of spades and throw their diamond away when it's not high. And there's something to be said for after that playing ace king and a club, hoping that depending on if let's say West is going to pitch a club on this. So if West had 3 clubs queen, you kind of have a count on this. Okay, well, East threw the queen of clubs. Let's say East held the queen of clubs and pitched a spade. You could pitch a diamond on this, and West has to keep 3 clubs only. So now you can actually play ace king and another club. And it doesn't matter who has the queen. If West has the queen, so the finesse was winning, they'd have to lead a heart into your 10-7. So West can cover this and force a loser because that blocks the clubs.
I'd be very surprised if he ran the 8 of clubs.
It would be quite a play for Paul to throw the queen of clubs away from queen 10 doubleton and then score a trick with the 10 in order to keep the contract. That'd be pretty cool. I mean, I'd almost want to finesse the 8 just so I could congratulate him if he did that.
But basically, one's happy to have 9 tricks and no trump on this hand.
North raised 3 hearts to 4 hearts in the other room. 4 hearts is going to be even more of a struggle than 3-no trump, I think. You have the ability to rough diamonds in the dummy in hearts, but you also have the ability to have more heart losers. So she did cover it. Declarer has a lot of ways to get the most elegant of these is to play the 4 of clubs back to the 9, coming down to a pair of jacks and dummy and a pair of 7s in your hand, but then put West in with the 8 of hearts to lead to your jack of clubs.
Only if they're playing for the fans.
I was just trying to pseudo squeeze East here, but East threw the 13th spade away and kept the
Yeah.
diamond. Looks like Declare was trying for a beer. So well done, North-South in the closed room. Small triumph here. In the open room, it was a diamond lead against 4 hearts. Declare won the king and finessed the queen of spades at trick 2. Just kind of desperate for tricks. Can actually play the ace of spades pitching a club and the ace of diamonds and start trying to cross off as many tricks as you can that way. So you cash the ace of diamonds and the ace of diamonds, the ace of spades, pitching a club from your hand on the ace of spades. Then cross the king of clubs and ruff a diamond, and then play ace of clubs and a club.
Well, now South has found out about the spades in the open room. The closed room, some people have a rule about not in first and second position, not opening weak 2s with 4-card majors. South apparently does not have this rule.
It's a pretty sound 2-diamond opening bid, regardless. It looks like they must play 2 spades as non-forcing there because South passed it. Either that or decided that the 2-heart bid over him made his hand too terrible and the misfit made him violate system. But there was no alert on 2 spades. How do you like to play that? As forcing or not forcing?
Probably not, but it doesn't come up all that often, actually.
Yeah, I don't remember it ever actually happening.
So I'm not sure I've ever had a discussion about it. I would consider it constructive, not forcing.
Declare is Wildowski is a deliberate declarer to begin with, and so he's taking a little bit of time here, but he's sticking with his plan A. I think he's gonna. Oh, he decided to pitch a diamond on the ace of spades before he saw that king show up, rather than pitching a club.
Oh,
So he
right.
didn't get rough clubs in his hand. So I think he plays king of clubs here, roughs his diamond and dummy, and then plays the jack of spades, maybe. Pitches club. That's not super attractive either. You can always
Maybe
do that
ace
later. Yeah, he's playing the king of clubs. Now East wins the ace and can play a diamond. Defense has taken 1. If West plays a diamond here, I think Declare is just in a lot of trouble. Because what does Declare do? Declare's probably best off just roughing it low. And if West plays back a club, Declare's stuck in the dummy, basically. So West over roughs if Declare roughs low, plays back a club. Declare can win the ace of clubs, but is stuck in dummy and has to either play another club, letting East rough with a 9, or playing a spade, getting another trump motion. Declare actually played roughed high. I would think that West's going to pitch on this one. Although apparently pitching on it's not. Maybe Declare needs to do the same thing, over rough and play a club. A lot of these positions where Declare roughs high, it's normal to pitch because you generate a trump trick by pitching that you might not have by over-roughing. Imagine Declare Jack 10 9 of hearts. Pitching here promotes your 8, whereas over-roughing does not. So how interesting a contract is two spades. I've been paying attention to the four heart contract, which is touch and go.
Right, I'm still looking at the four hard contractors. This is,
So if Declare overruffs with the queen and plays a club, Declare has to play the ace or he's down right away. And then presumably he plays the jack of spades and pitches his other club, but then East-West can separate their trumps.
they can separate the trump then, yeah.
So Declare can't do that. So Declare has to try to win the ace of clubs and play the jack of clubs. Then East can ruff with the 9. Declare can overruff.
Just overruff and just play trump.
But no, West has a long trump, right? So if you, let's say you go ace of clubs, jack of clubs, East ruffs with a 9. Oh, East ruffs with a 9, it holds, right? If you play ace of clubs, jack of clubs, East scores the 9 of hearts. South has to follow to the third club because he pitched a club instead of a heart. I'm getting the suits wrong. He pitched. He held his third club instead of pitching it when he had the discard available on the ace of spades. So now I think Declare is just doomed. So he plays the jack of spades, West, and pitches his club. West can still ruff and
Right.
play a club, allowing East to ruff with the 9, and then their 9-8 of hearts promote. So Cohen did really well. He read out the whole position there. He made the unnatural looking play to me of overruffing with Queen of Hearts, but it was a necessary play. Pitching a club would have been the path to defeat. I think we're going to see another swing to Wolfson here.
Well, I think I'm somewhat clear that pitching a club wasn't giving enough tricks to the defense. It didn't look like it would be.
Declare is up to 7 tricks, looks like, in 2 spades. The defense has taken 4.
It is.
They need 2 more, and it looks like they have it.
Oh, there it goes.
I think even this way, the defense still has 2 club tricks coming.
Right. Had a spade exit could have used.
Okay, so that was 12 amps more to Wolfson. Oh, I'm scrolling the wrong screen. Sorry, viewers.
Yeah.
Sorry, I gave you a headache there. South did not open the 2-diamond opening bid with the South hand. I don't know if they play a natural 2 diamonds and chose not to use it, or whether they used 2 diamonds for something else. So, but a heart opening, second seat, and a spade overcall seemed super duper normal. I think East will just bid 1-no trump here. East could pass, I guess, but 1-no trump feels right. Well, East did pass. And the problem with passes, if partner reopens with a double, I'm not really sure what to do.
All right, I don't think it's strong enough to pass a reopening double.
1-no trump feels like an underbid.
Yeah, so I would have been 1-no trump just to. I'm a very simple bidder, just get my points on the table.
And even though it's only 7 high card points, and normally I think of that no trump bid when you don't have to bid it is usually like 8 to maybe 8 to 10, 8 to a bad 10. The positional value of those spade spots, it makes it worth an extra point. to be in range of 1-0 trump, in my opinion. So they're also defending 2 spades, and it went 1 off in the other room. Starts life losing 2 spades and a heart is 3, a diamond is 4, and a club is 5. But Declare has all those clubs in their hand that are losers and needs to find homes for them. Five is likely to be a doubleton. It's the highest spot out there. The 4 and the 2 are lower. We see a diamond pass a spade past 3-0 trump. If people are unfamiliar with what you rebid 3-0 trump as the auction in the closed room, it generally shows shortness in partners major and a long running minor in a good hand, which describes Levin's hand pretty accurately. As a defender against that, it's often right to lead the major that was bid on your right. And if West leads the king of spades, which I think is not an absurd lead, it would have been better off than leading a club into the ace jack.
Now we wanted to be able to see it later. If West had made a neutral lead, East would have had a chance to play the spade. Although, but North's spots are just barely good enough
Yes.
that it would have did not really need the club trick. And we can set up a hard trick, and if he's not going to speed trick.
If partner had ace 10 8 small of spades instead of ace 10 7 small of spades, king of spades and 9 of spades would have beaten it. And it's I think that's a findable lead, the king of spades. You know there's a good hand with spade shortness on your right. I think the 9 of spades also could be right on any given day, but the king is also a good shot. 9 of spades obviously not as good on this deal. Neither quite good enough to beat it with dummy holding that critical 8 of spades. Declare actually.
Well, yeah, no, I guess the 9 of spades lead actually does beat it. Yes.
Does it? No, just hold. Because the king of spades, the jack of spades becomes a stopper.
But there's 4 spades and 1 heart trick.
Well, you play the 9 of spades, Declare. Are you talking about this?
9 of spades are trick 1.
Right, the 9 of spades at trick 1. Declare plays low from dummy. Your partner has to, their ace has to take the queen, but then the king's in front of the jack.
Oh yeah, right. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was thinking. Yeah.
The 9 of spades lead could be really important if Declare had, like, on some cases where Declare has a singleton 8 and you have to borrow the spot in partner's hand. And the king of spades could be a re-entry to lead the 3rd round of spades through. So I think there's a good case for the 9 of spades and there's a good case for the king of spades. I don't think there's a very strong case for the club lead. Declare is now not sure that it was right for him to greet it out for the over trick by playing on hearts. I guess he was able to, he knows, I guess, by covering the 9 of spades that he's good. The 8 of spades and dummy.
So it looks like 2 spades is actually going down 3 in the open room.
So 2 spades made east-west. So a small pickup for Wolfson for more accurate defense. I think the auction may be the same in this room that we saw in the other room when the open room plays board 12. And if they are, I'm curious to see what Larry Cohen leads.
Right.
So 11 is opened one spade. Sort of a normal one spade hand, but the West hand wants to get in there and has a very good offensively oriented hand for clubs. East-West may just be off club tricks. They have work to do, and a lot of spades are rough and clubs are trump. And probably too much work to do with the diamonds if hearts are trump. So seems like maybe this is supposed to be a club partial East-West, but I can visualize worlds where West is bidding 5 clubs here over 3 clubs, or at least trying for it.
Well, West hand is very, if East by any chance had a 4th club, West would have a great hand.
Absolutely.
On the bidding.
I think it'd be kind of cowardly to pass 3 clubs here. I'm told by the Twitch chat that they use an opening 2 diamonds as mini Roman. Also, South has rebid 3 diamonds and not 3-no trump. It's not, I guess it's not a perfect 3-no bid because the diamonds aren't really solid, but and they play weak no trump, so 3 diamonds is stronger than.
It's quite possible 3 diamonds has a slightly stronger range in theirs. I don't know for sure, but
I think North will bid 3-no trump over that, though. If 3 diamonds has a stronger range, then North has stoppers in the other 3 suits, and not the worst possible hand, and it's a red game. He's thinking about it, though. He's thinking. Yeah. I mean, the only other thing he could be thinking about is passing. I'll say that, and then he's going to bid something like 3 diamonds, 3 hearts, or 3 spades.
And he bids 3-no.
West did pass 3 clubs. It was very accurate for this deal, but very conservative in general. I guess although, you know, with clubs blocked, the defense can't play 3 rounds of clubs, and hearts breaking, there's not that far off from making 5. I mean, Declare can actually rough all their spades in dummy right now. And Taylor can take 3 rounds of hearts, North South have to follow to them and cross rough spades and diamonds till the cows come home. Till I guess the 3rd round of spades, North could rough with a 9. Or the 4th round of spades.
Yeah, so cross rough doesn't quite work. For 5, it's doing 5 and 3.
Yeah. I predict they will be higher than 3 clubs in the other room. The play there will have more gravitas. I think Declare here may not even try to rough their last spade and diamond, may just play a trump off the board, figuring it's okay for them to lose 2 clubs in a spade. They don't want to shorten themselves so far. All right, she is going to cross to the ace of hearts and rough their last spade, which is also fine.
South could have had the 9 of clubs, so this is very reasonable.
Right. And so they'll lose 2 clubs here. Claire will have to tap themselves down to get back to their hand, but that's okay. Actually, they know they can just bleed the 7 of clubs. There are only 3 trumps outstanding after all, so. And your 5 of clubs is equal to the queen, the jack, the 10, and the 8 and the 4. They're all the same. I missed the plan 3 now. But Declare's busy making exactly 3, sort of the same. I guess it looks like at some point Declare played the ace king of diamonds and a heart to the king, and the defense.
Yeah, like that. Declare had to set up the heart trick.
Declare wasn't given a club, so yeah, you're right. They needed a heart.
But it was there to be set up, so it was no problem.
All right, so I'm curious to see how the auction's going to go here in the open room on 13. I think we'll see the same start of 1 spade, 2 clubs, 2 spades.
Yeah, so 3 club bid's so obvious.
I bid 3 clubs, but I could imagine a world where someone doubles to try to get the hearts in. Hand's just not so good.
A disadvantage of 3 clubs is there's like a good chance the other side's going to be playing their hand in spades, and you really don't want a club lead, particularly.
So, I mean, that's a good argument for double, which would be more encouraging a partner to lead a heart. I don't think Larry's going to pass 3 clubs. The hand is just really good. You know about spade shortness of partner's hand because of the enemy auction. What do you know? Larry passed 3 clubs. What do I know? All right, so that board's not very interesting. Let's look at the closed room.
Maybe he thinks that David would bid 4 clubs almost any time he had a 4-card support.
With the singleton spade. Probably, but I mean, you might not even need that. Well, at any rate, so on a heart of spade past 4 spades, that seems like actually a sensible auction. West might have bid 2 diamonds over a heart of spade, but they weren't a passed hand.
This is not the optimal lead. This
is not going to paralyze declare.
And they have 4 tricks off the top, and now they have 3. Reasonable lead. I don't know. A good reason to take the very quick 4 spade call so that East doesn't get the second suited.
As a matter of strategy, sometimes here, okay, Levin did. I would sometimes claim that at trick 1 as soon as the opening lead was made, so they could feel as bad as possible about just knowing they blew the contract immediately going into the next deal. But I don't know that it really helps that much. But a stolen game there for Wolfson, who's already leading.
But it could be stolen the other table. There wasn't anything unreasonable done there.
Right. If imps stolen, of course, are twice as sweet as imps won. But there are thieves all around in this event.
Yeah.
This favorable 2-heart bid. I think you'd make it at any vulnerability. It just seems kind of a very normal 2-heart bid, and East will just bid 4 hearts at their first opportunity. But I think that will not stop North-South from bidding 4 spades. And East will have to decide whether to bid 5 hearts or whether to sell the 4 spades. Suppose East could make a diamond lead direct on the way, but I don't like giving the player on my left a heart Q bid to either make or not make on the way to 4 spades.
Well, the playing 4 spades is going to be interesting because it will rely on the diamond suit.
With the spade finesse off, yeah, I thought East might bid 5 hearts.
Oh, okay.
And I think South is going to double this, not wanting to encourage partner to bid 5 spades, having already bid 4 spades, and having 2 aces. At the point you need to play on diamonds, let's say they lead a heart over to the ace and East shifts to, well, let's see, no, East Sun leads. So let's say East leads a high heart and looks at that dummy, plays a club. Maybe knowing that the hearts aren't breaking, or continues a heart, either case. You're going to win in your hand and take a trump finesse, which is going to lose. and then they're going to exit passively again. Although I suppose maybe you shouldn't take a trump finesse. You could ruff the heart, eliminate the clubs, and play spades to the ace and a spade if East wins the spade.
That won't work because they could always just give a rough and slough. That's not going to help the
Oh, you're
diamond.
right. Yes, absolutely. Good point. I missed
Here's
that the
the
rough
thing
and slough
is-
doesn't help you.
Is the play of this ace fifth opposite jack 9 8 4 with no information starting with the ace is correct. But if you know East doesn't have a singleton, then maybe starting with the jack might be correct.
At that point, you'll have seen the king of spades, the queen of hearts, and the ace king of hearts. Well, maybe not the ace king of hearts. You'll see the king of spades and a high heart from the other hand. And presumably there's one or two high hearts in the hand that open two hearts. I don't know that you have enough information to place both the king and queen of diamonds, but if it's known to not be a singleton on your left, then sure, why not start with the jack? Can't lose.
Yeah.
The jack is only to pick up, the low was only to pick up a singleton king or queen on your left. They're not going to have a singleton spade and a singleton diamond. Not on this auction.
Good. So we're going to guess they would have made four spades.
And once you
We'll
start
never
diamond
know.
with the jack, yeah, you're going to make it. So I think East-West did well to save. I think Levin would have, or
Yes.
Becker would have made this.
The auction in the previous hand has gone the same way on board 14.
So the spotlight is going to be on West for the opening lead. Assuming West passes assuming everyone passes four spades.
Well, East hasn't passed yet.
East has a pretty good hand with three-suited hand with spade shortness. If East doubles as West, I would bid five diamonds, not pass it.
Five diamonds is down one.
Yeah, theoretically, it's bad to be down at both tables, but since they made four spades, five diamonds down and one is okay. So East did double.
East doubled, okay.
So West will either pass or bid five diamonds. And you have good defensive prospects against four spades, but against that, you also have this very chunky six-card diamond suit and a partner who is willing to hear you bid at a high level. Sounds like
Even though it's not true today, I think there's too much of a chance that either one of four spades or five diamonds is making. That it seems to be bidding five diamonds seems correct.
So he did, in fact, bid five diamonds, and
Yeah.
I don't think South is going to hit this. Yeah, so they're just defending five diamonds undoubled.
Right.
So the defense has cashed their ace of diamonds with the king, queen, and dummy, and now he's playing a club over. He wants to force his partner to give a club ruff, and he's going to wait for a while for that club ruff, or it's not going to give it to him. And then he can say, "Why didn't you give me my club ruff?" Declare has worked it out. Declare let them know there's no club ruff coming.
Okay, here North-South has to cash their two heart tricks, but it seems pretty easy to do, unless I'm missing something. There's nothing else to do.
No, I don't. He's looking at the ace, king, queen of clubs and dummy and the king, jack of diamonds. If his partner has a diamond trick, then he's getting it. Partner probably doesn't have a diamond trick, so what else can there be other than hope the second heart cashes?
Yeah.
Actually, play ended in the one room, so we are looking at just the open room
Yeah.
now. So I can do this.
So 14 is another pickup for the Wolfson team.
So Wolfson has been on a 22 amp run after the match was even at 21 amps apiece after 7 boards. for anyone who is following the women's final for USA2, which was a bit lopsided in favor of Baker, Cappelletti has made significant inroads in this segment, winning it ahead right now 53-19. I'm just checking, it's not quite done. And I'm going to switch over to that when play of board 15 finishes here, because I think there's some interesting stuff going on looking at their results. There's some big results coming in the other match. Meanwhile, we have the expected start to the auction.
So there's two questions here. One, will East-West save? And the second is, if they don't, will North guess the diamonds correctly?
If East-West wind up saving, then we can expect a push board.
But the defense against the sacrifice is not very interesting.
Now, if East does make some sort of lead directing call in diamonds here over 2 spades, I think South should just bid 4 spades and not cube it on the way. Their hand is not slammish enough to want to do anything other than bid 4 spades. And since with diamonds bid on your right, you kind of actually really want to double them in 4 hearts. In 5 hearts, you don't want to bid 5 over 4. So I would just bid 4 spades and then double anything higher. East must be thinking about making a lead direct in diamonds. I don't think.
But since East is going to be on lead, it seemed a little unusual to be making a lead directing call. That's what he was thinking about, whether put the full pressure on.
All right, he figured he was going to bid 5 hearts sooner or later. He's better to bid it sooner than later. And someone in our Twitch chat actually predicted that that East would bid 5 hearts.
Give that person a prize.
And South just doubled it. I don't know what prize to give them. I can't give them a gold star through the computer. You come up to me in Chicago, I'll try to find one for them. Or I can put like an emote in the chat or something.
Here is not interesting. Can we go to see what's left in the women's match?
Yeah. Here, let's think. Yeah, I think I can go to the home.
If anything.
No, the women's is actually pretty interesting. So we scroll down here, we can see lots of big swings, and there's a 590 coming towards the Baker team on this one, but this set, these are imps being scored by Cappelletti, so they've cut the lead down rather substantially with huge swings on 3 consecutive boards. We can take a look at an 1100 here on board 11. I haven't seen that one yet. Lynn and Kate have a highly aggressive style with opening bids. So she bid 3 diamonds, 3 hearts, 3 spades. And they continued and got severely punished. So in this room, 4 spades north-south was doubled and made.
So Baker will have a big push. That's it's a little unusual. It looks like they left the Dublin in the other room, which is unsuccessful, and Baker will get some points back to firm up their lead.
And I think they're going to give them back on board 15. Look at that, the hand we were just watching. The auction, 2 hearts, 2 spades, 4 hearts, 4 spades. East 2-stepped it instead of what Berkowitz bid 5 hearts directly. East bid 4 hearts and 5 hearts as we saw in the other room, but South did not double it. Every other South chose to double 5 hearts. Lynn instead pushed to 5 spades, and that requires a successful diamond guess just to hold the damage to down 1.
Now, that was interesting because when David Berkowitz bid 5 hearts rather than 4 hearts, South had a harder problem, I think, because South had not shown the spades yet. But in this auction, I think double makes sense with the South hand. South has shown the spades already.
And my feeling bidding 4 spades there would be I'm probably a moderate favorite to make 4 spades, but I'm certainly would feel very comfortable with doubling 5 hearts if they bid it over 4 spades. Well, now I'm sure I'm getting a plus score.
Well, in the open room, this is the one West that did not make a 2 heart call.
So 14, yeah, with 4 spades doubled, making the other one 5 diamonds down 1, and the other one 11 imps back to Baker. But I think we may see those imps go all the way back to the other team. So West did not open 2 hearts. Jill did not open 2 hearts at favorable. I find that shocking, actually. This auction has a very different feel to it with 1 spade double. South did 3 diamonds showing, looks like a mixed raise of some sort, and just under a limit raise.
Well, it's clear North bids 4 spades now.
North has the world's easiest 4 spade bid, but I think West bids again. I think it's West that's going to bid again here. But if East West don't bid again, they could be defending 4 spades making.
Because at this table, East would not have a singleton diamond, so likely diamonds would be guessed
Take
correctly.
a double 1 spade, 100%. Okay, East bid 5 hearts. Wow, she's got that's like animalistic 5 hearts. You have a very normal hand for your having doubled 1 spade.
Right.
So I'm.
But now North has a problem.
South didn't double 5 hearts. I don't know why. South had 2 aces for their mixed raise. I mean, I know they showed a hand in the mixed raise range, but it's still 2 aces. But it's not going to be as many imps swinging back.
I mean, there might have been a question whether or not it was a forcing pass auction. And the South have been trying to invite by passing.
It wouldn't have been a forcing pass auction in any of my partnerships.
Yeah,
I know that some players use the vulnerability to inform whether or not a pass is forcing.
Well, it'll be a moderate gain to the Cappelletti team on this last hand. It's still a long.
So plus 100 at both tables if it goes down 2 here to go with down 1. Not as good as plus 300 and plus 100, but still 5 imps back. They badly need them because they're down 70 right now. And it has to be kind of heartbreaking for Cappelletti, who was well ahead in the match to be USA1 in the women's and had just poor results on the final day and wound up losing that match by a fair bit, and then having a day off to recover before playing the USA2 match, and just they haven't been able to find their feet again. They're down by a lot here too. This set had seemed like it was really going well for them, and I hope they don't get too upset by that 11 imp swing near the end. It was still they still needed something to make the set competitive, and yeah, they won it by 22 instead of winning it by 40, but still they're still in this. So I hope the match is exciting for time to come.
Could you pull up board 14? The rumor was double.
This one here.
Yeah.
And
So
a heart, a spade.
Weston made a
Double,
negative double on the diamonds. That's what really affected the nature of the last double.
And I'm sure they still have the 9 of hearts.
Yeah, no, it was the auction I was mainly interested in, because in the seniors, there was a 1 heart, 1 spade pass, 4 spades double, and then West took out the 5 diamonds.
Look at the effectiveness of the Sanborn Myers auction here in the open room, where East is open to heart, South overcalled the spade, and West was able to bid a natural 3 diamonds, showing a hand in this range. And now East was able to bid 5 diamonds here, and might have been a little disappointed that it didn't have any play, but very happy they weren't defending 4 spades on a heart lead. And that picked up that was a good half of that swing, was them being just minus 50 and 5 diamonds. Their teammates had the good result of the other table. There are some other big swings here. So they bid 6 hearts on board 5. I think this is the hand that had the solid diamonds. So 6 hearts is the slam you want to be in. So 5 diamonds was a bit of an underbid here, but they got jammed. Sort of this is the same auction that South that we watched jumped to 6 diamonds.
Well, I think 5 diamonds is a real underbid here.
So a diamond 2 spades double, but I like it. I think 3 spades is just fine. Yeah, 5 diamonds is when a negative double of 3 spades is essentially, for me, sets up a force, because that negative double forces you to the 4 level or higher, and once you're in a force at the 4 level, in my book, that means I'm in a game force. So that double shows a good hand.
Yeah, so
a better hand than the double of 2 spades showed, and that's what they jumped to slam opposite that one. Yeah, there's a 14 imp swing here. We looked at that one. That was they bid too much and got caught speeding. And remember, this 3-0 trump on board 10 was that was kind of a sketchy 3-0, right? All right, that was absolutely a sketchy 3-0. Should we see how they made it here? So they got a diamond lead, which seems like a decent start for the defense. There's like all sorts of end play possibilities on this one. Declare played the king of hearts from dummy. That seems like a good shot.
yeah.
East West were blocking the diamond spots on this play. I won this. I expect she unblocks the 9 of diamonds here. East had let a low diamond. It would have been previous trick would have been more of a challenge. So now West is on lead and can safely exit only in spades. So we'll do that. This is very similar to the position we arrived at in the other room. Declare played a club to the 9. We're trying to avoid letting East on lead to cash the 10 of diamonds.
Right.
So West wins the club and has nothing to do but exit in spades. But Declare has enough tricks, can cross the king of clubs and cash the 10 of hearts to pitch the other spade away. Here she actually exited in clubs and Declare it's not like both. Well, the 10 of clubs was gone. So just and isn't very happy in this position because they need the king of spades to draw.
Well, actually, oh,
Right.
actually could have played 7 of diamonds here. No, I'm sorry, no. They already had lots of 20 tricks.
And dummy came down to 2 black aces and 2 black jacks. That's dead man's hand, right? That's a cool ending.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all for watching. And I think the next set's going to be starting really soon because we've taken. Oh no, this is the first set. So they played fast. It shows 25 minutes left on the break. So I think that means they're starting at 2 Eastern. Maybe 1:45 Eastern. Again, my math degree doesn't exist.
Okay.
So
thanks.
thank you, everyone. Thanks to Love Bridge and the USBF, Jan Martel, and stick around for who's doing this. The next one. It looks like
Bridge. This is your May Bridge Marathon.
Might be Ron and Anam on segment 2 doing this. All right. Take care, everyone.